one of the biggest features with wolf dogs is they are considered to be unpredictable. So, although they bond often very, very well with humans, that bond, is only for one person usually, and then on top of that, that bond could shift. So there's always a risk with wolf dogs, even if they can be very gentle and very loving, that the behavior could change. I'm not big on having a lot of rules and regulations, but I would argue that breeding wolf dogs is very, very ethically problematic. And I say that because if you look at the well-being of the animal that's produced, wolf dogs do end up in a situation where they're really pushed into, a much more domestic life than they would be if they were living in the wild. So to have a wolf dog, you need a huge amount of space. You often need to have a very confined space. There can be a lot of challenges with the behavior. And, no matter how much space you have, they're not living freely. They're not hunting. They're not walking, hiking, running 80 kilometers a day. They're not doing the things that they would do in the wild. I don't know the exact numbers. What I do know, the numbers are extremely high in Canada, the United States, and not all of Europe, but many countries in Europe. And look, we don't know the true numbers because what are we talking about here? There are wild wolves, or wolves as we know them, that are carrying dog DNA. And that's another huge problem, is that many of these dogs will get loose. They're often in more remote areas. They will get loose, and they will interbreed with wolves that are pure wolves, and in fact weaken the gene pool of the pure wolves, which could become a huge threat to them. So big problem. We don't know the numbers, and look, we don't know what people tell us, because someone could have 4 wolf dogs, and he's going to tell the breeder they're I don't know what, a German Shepherd Husky cross or something. I mean, who's gonna know to apprehend these dogs? Not knowing if they're going to be euthanized or not, I think is going too far. And they may not even survive in the wild. We don't know how much dog is in them. So, to survive in the wild, they would need all of their wolf skills, in terms of hunting, in terms of pack, in terms of those priorities. So we don't even know if they'd survive. So that could be an element of cruelty. Secondly, if they do survive, they are going to weaken the gene pool for the native or indigenous or natural wolves that are living in the environment, because they're going to interact with them.